late last year, today is 23rd of January 2026, 6:18 p.m. Late last year, towards the ending of the year, I think on 29th, I got a call from a job I applied for, and I went through 3 stages of interview. By 5th of January, I was called with a start date, verbally, not an email. I was called with a start date, and he asked if 19th is fine by me. I said yes. Notified my current job, gave them 2 weeks notice, hoping to resume work at the new place on Monday. The weekend before Monday and Saturday, I didn't get any updates, so I called and I started hearing stories. As it stands, I'm jobless.
The clip you just saw is about a lady who became jobless, not because she was careless, but because a system failed her. Today, I want us to look at this situation and unpack it professionally and empathetically. Welcome back to the HR Lounge. Thank you for your support thus far. Thank you for your engagement in our last video. I encourage that we keep sharing and keep, engaging, especially in the comment section, so that we both learn. Today's video is one that I know most candidates out there need to hear this. So please do well to share with them, because I would appreciate if nobody makes this mistake or becomes a victim again. So let's unravel this. Let's unpack it and discuss it. Let's start with the candidate, which is this lady in question. This lady got comfortable with the verbal offer she got. And then she trusted the process and she acted swiftly with it because she trusted the system and the process. However, this came biting because she became jobless without the new job that was assumed or supposed to resume at. What's the risk here for her? The risk is she resigned her former job without a formal offer letter. She did that based on an assurance, verbal assurance she got, which has left her in limbo. I would totally not blame her. Remember, I said it is not because she was careless, but she trusted the system and she acted likewise. In Nigeria, especially, where processes sometimes, they change and it's not as straightforward as it is or as it should be. Candidates are advised to protect themselves. How do you protect yourself? Make sure that you do not resign from your previous place of employment without a formal letter, a formal offer letter, which will state your resumption date, your salary, that's the breakdown of the salary, and other vital information, that's like terms and conditions of the employment. Please ensure you have this, because if things go south, that's the only legal document you have to be able to seek redress. For this lady now, it might be difficult for her to get redress. The only thing she can do now is what she has done by going online, posting it, and getting empathy from people. But because it is a verbal conversation, I don't think it would really hold grounds, especially when she didn't record that conversation. Okay, now let's move to the HR. I would say that the biggest failure in this situation started from the HR office. My reason is because the HR left communication gap. There was a loophole there. And also, he or she engaged a staff psychologically without a formal letter. or a formal communication. And this has done more harm than good. As human resource practitioners, our job is not just to recruit. Our job is also to manage risks. And this person, the HR, did not do his or her risk management well. What should he or she have done in this situation? Yes, you could have communicated with, yes, with this candidate informally to have gotten the person's notice period and other information. However, you should back it up with a formal conversation or communication so that it is well documented and we are all on the same page. If, for example, I know that there are times where management can change their minds, change decisions, especially when it comes to recruitment, it is the responsibility of the HR to effectively communicate. As simple as we are pausing recruitment due to internal decisions. It will go a long way in helping candidates make effective decisions, especially when it comes to them leaving another job so that they can resume at the organization. Remember that it's not just the marketing department that has the responsibility to, position the organization, the brand, in the best way that, they increase the reputation, give it a very good reputation. The HR office also has that responsibility because word of mouth and referral goes a long way. It can make or mar that business. So please, effective communication HR is very key. For the management team, I understand that certain times things might not go as planned, especially when it comes to recruitment. And you might need to take that tough decisions whereby you have to pause recruitment. Please, my advice is that when things change, when there's a change, especially with recruitment, and they have to do with another person's decision, let the communication be done effectively and promptly. Immediately communicate to the HR department so that the candidates can be properly communicated. The person is in the know. Alright, and let this not be like a frequent thing with the organization. Also, management, do not leave HR alone rather, to handle fallbacks, things like this. Because you want your organization to be seen as one where professionalism is key. And then you also work with empathy because you are putting other people in mind. Let's go. What's the ideal way to handle situations like this? The ideal way is that once the recruitment has gotten to the stage of sending out letters, let this be done formally. Let there be a formal letter that is stating all that it needs to be stated. It should be sent to this qualified candidate or your preferred candidate. Let the person sign and send back to you, and then you know that we've entered into a contract. Let communication be effective and be done promptly. If there's a change, like I said, HR should communicate to the person. Let there be open communication. Let's not leave any gap. Carry the candidate along. Management, please reduce this thing called change of mind. And you just change mind and you tell HR, go deal with it. No, let's work together as a team. Because you are trying to position the organization well. Give it a very good outlook, right? So, another thing I would say is that management also have at the back of your mind that for every decision that you make regarding hiring, somebody's life is affected. Somebody's decision is depending on your own output. So it will help you and guide you. Do not again, for management, approve a recruitment that you know you do not need, because this is where it will pour the frequent change of decisions. If you know that a role is not needed at a particular time, please do not approve that candidates be recruited for that. It will save everybody's time and energy. Respect for resources, human resources, would go a long way. You respect it by respecting the time, the power, everything that will go into sorting and recruiting people, scouting for talent. You save us that time. Okay? So for candidates also, the ideal way you should deal with this also is to make sure that you, of course, have a formal letter before you then go ahead to resign your former job and start preparing. You should also ask questions. Ask questions. Even though it might look as if you are trying to be difficult also, but no, you are trying to protect yourself. You are trying to protect your energy. Some organizations still have the mindset of if they send you a letter, you would use it to, bargain for a bigger, maybe pay with another organization. So we might not blame them. They are acting based on experience. However, you should ask questions from that interview. From the questions and their responses, you would know how soon they need you, right? You would also know if they are just interviewing you to just keep you in view. Because in organizations where they have HRs in charge of recruitment, they have targets to fill up their CV bank with qualified candidates, just in case somebody goes, resigns, they will just pull up and then employ the person. So sometimes this recruitment process is not for immediate resumption. So ask questions, know where you stand, so that you can then make that final decision and everybody would be at peace. According to our book for the quarter, those who succeed are often supported by strong institutions, clear structures, and a supportive system. HR, managers, CEOs, whoever you are in an organization, let's work together to build a supportive system, one that it is conducive and one that will encourage growth so that everybody can thrive in the organization. This begins with our recruitment process. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. Please let's continue the conversation in the comments section. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with everyone. Thank you and see you in our next video.